FA Cup fifth round draw is out, and Arsenal is heading to Mansfield Town. On paper, that looks comfortable, but this is the FA Cup. This is the competition that destroyed giants in the past. So the question is simple: is this routine or is this dangerous? All right, people, welcome back to the Bar Arsenal, and the FA Cup draw for the fifth round has been made, and Arsenal has been paired with Mansfield Town. So first things first, let's zoom out. The FA Cup remains one of England's most historic and prestigious domestic competitions. Yours truly, Arsenal, we've won it 14 times, more than any club in the history of the competition. This is our trophy. This is part of our identity. But under Mikel Arteta, we have seen what it means to win the tournament. In his very first campaign with the club, when he took over from the trenches that Unai Emery left us in, he won the FA Cup in his first season. But unfortunately, that was the last time Arsenal progressed in the FA Cup. The next campaign against Nottingham Forest, we crashed out in the third round. We also crashed out in the fourth round against Man City, crashed out in the third round against Liverpool, and last season, unfortunately, we crashed out in the third round against Manchester United. There's some penalties, a game that we will never forget because Man United had a red card that day, but for some strange reason, Arsenal couldn't win. However, a whole lot can change. This campaign has been a whole lot different. Arsenal started, in the third round, the clash against Portsmouth. Gabriel Martinelli was the hero of the day, scoring a hat-trick, and of course, our main striker, OG Ongo, scored one. The fourth round was played yesterday against Wigan Athletic. That was the last time we went to win the FA Cup was in 2014 in the semi-finals when we went all the way to win the trophy against Hull City. But this time, it was a routine 4-0 victory. Eberechi Eze pulled the strings in midfield, creating 2 assists for Noni Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli. Gabriel Eze scored his goal as well, and of course, our main striker, OG, scored again. Now, the FA Cup fifth round has come to center stage, so let's look at the draws. In the fifth round, you have Fulham taking on Southampton. Then we have Port Vale playing against Sunderland, but Port Vale has to play against Bristol City first, and the winner of that game will take on Sunderland. Then we have an all-important Premier League clash where Newcastle United plays against Man City. Then, of course, there's the game between Leeds United and Norwich. It's a nice game. I've spoken already about Mansfield Town playing against Arsenal. Wolverhampton Wanderers, who had their reward for beating Grimsby in that muddy pitch. Did you guys see the game against Grimsby? God, that was like some gangster stuff. The pitch was so dirty. The players were filled up with mud. Like I think they played in secondary school again or something. But that was the same Grimsby Town that defeated Man United. So you need to put some respect on their name. So Wolves is going to take on Liverpool. Wrexham, one of the surprise packages of the competition this season, is taking on Chelsea. And of course, West Ham United or other Mansfield Town, they will play Mansfield Town is playing Brentford tonight. Yes, and the winner of that game will take on West Ham United. So key dates to note, the fifth round is going to happen on Saturday, March 7th. The quarterfinals, should Arsenal progress, will happen on April 4th. The semis on April 25th. And of course, the finals on May 16th. Of course, the heavyweight clash that jumps out is Newcastle versus Man City. I'm happy that those two teams are playing themselves. They've already made themselves a couple of times in the cup. Last season, on Newcastle's way to the EFL Cup trophy win, they beat Man City. But Man City got their revenge this last time when they played against Newcastle on both legs. So that'll be an interesting time. There's also the choice between Wrexham and Chelsea. Obviously, whoever wins, we really don't care. But our own focus should be on Mansfield Town. So who's Mansfield Town? Let's talk about their FA Cup journey, how they got to this point where they are right now in the FA Cup. Looking at their clashes, they had the game against Harrogate Town. That was in November. Yep. They defeated Harrogate Town 3-2 in the first round. Then they played against Accrington Stanley and defeated them on penalties. That led them to another clash against Sheffield United, where they won in Sheffield's home 3-4. Then, of course, their last clash in the fourth round was against Burnley, away at Toughmoor, and they got a very good result against them. So Arsenal has to be mindful of the kind of threat that Mansfield will place. You know, we don't have to disrespect them. You know, Mansfield is currently competing in the lower tiers than League One, like Wigan, but they're in 13th place right now. Where we know them for, they're going to have some high intensity pressing. They continue to attack, you know, with transitions. Obviously, they'll have a strong home atmosphere. You know how it is when a FA Cup clash happens, when the Premier League side comes to the lower division side, the fans will be up for it. And of course, they have a physical area present. Against Burnley, the winner was settled by a lovely free kick from their captain. So Arsenal has to be mindful of the threat that they pose from set pieces, you know. So they have been doing very well up until this point, but Arsenal has to be very careful. So tactically, how do we approach this game? We need to start very fast, like what we did against Wigan. 4 goals in 30 minutes is currently an FA Cup record. No team has done that before. And trust me, I won't mind us doing it again against the likes of Mansfield Town. Typically, lower league sides, they tend to grow in belief when the game is still staying long at 0-0. So once we hit them fast and get the couple of goals we need, that should be enough for us. We need to be aggressive on our dwells. You know, there'll be a whole lot of long balls to the box. And of course, to have a lot of set piece overloads. We need to also respect the pitch, you know, and have our level of tempo. Smaller grounds, different pitch quality, totally different from what we know at the Emirates. It might be a bit chaotic, but control becomes very important for us. So do we rotate or do we go full strength? One good thing to know about this is that this game is sandwiched between our Premier League clashes against Brighton and Everton. So I think we can actually rotate the squad because, as you know, Arsenal is competing on all fronts, 4 fronts actually. You know, despite the fact that Man City is also in the quad, they tend to look at us more, but we don't care. We just have to keep focusing on ourselves. So typically, I would think that this would be a clash which will rotate the squad a bit because when we play Brighton away, they can meet a couple of tired legs before we play against Mansfield Town. Then we go to Everton next. You see the European commitments you think of. The league is actually very crucial for us. We're in a very delicate position, 4 points ahead of Man City, and we need to do enough, you know, to get that. We should still have a strong spine, but I should expect the likes of Paris Abalaga, Christian Nogard, Ben White, Miles Lewis Kelly, Martinelli, Madueke. You know, it's so good to see how the depth of the squad is, which will be helpful in a clash like this. So let's be honest, Arsenal is very serious right now about building a winning culture. So every game matters. Yes, we are currently number 1 in the Premier League. Yes, we won the group stage in the Champions League. The knockout round starts this week to know whether we're going to play against Olympiacos, Dortmund, Atalanta, or Leverkusen. Yes, we're in the Carabao Cup final against Man City. It's a very good game we're looking forward to playing. But this FA Cup is also very important. And thankfully, we're playing a side like Mansfield Town, where with no disrespect to them, we should have enough to win. So a win against Mansfield Town will help us build momentum. It will keep our squad players engaged, and of course, going to provide safety net for where our league ambition should be. FA Cup has a very good history. Arsenal is the team that has won 14 of it. But yes, we've had Premier League side being knocked down by League One teams. Just in this 4th round, Mansfield Town actually knocked out Burnley. So Arsenal should be very mindful. So on paper, this is a game we should win emotionally. The type of FA Cup clash I'm looking forward to. The road to Wembley just got interesting. Arsenal is going to play against Mansfield Town. And trust me, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see you guys when that time comes. So what's your thoughts, guys, on this FA Cup draw? I'm so happy. I'm sure you guys are having a clash against Mansfield Town. This should give us a road to the quarterfinal. And more interestingly, Man City and Newcastle, one of them will go out, which is good for us as well. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Till then, come on, you Gooners.